네, 우리 감독님과 주연 배우분들 무대 위로 모시도록 하겠습니다. 네, 저희도 이동해서 그럼 기자회견 진행해 보도록 할까요? 네, 다시 한번 소개해 드립니다. 전 세계 기대작 듄 파트 2의 주역분들이십니다. 네, 모두가 기다리는 기대작인 만큼 오늘 취재 열기도 굉장히 뜨겁습니다. 듄 파트 2가 전편을 뛰어넘는 스케일과 서사를 담고 있는 것을 예고하는 만큼 우리 기자분들의 질문이 뜨겁게 쏟아질 것으로 예상되는데요. 자, 먼저 티모시 샬라메 씨는 2019년 넷플릭스 시리즈 더 킹 헨리 5세로 부산 국제영화제에 참석하신 이후 두 번째 내한인데요. 감회가 새로우실 것 같습니다. 우리 티모시 샬라메 배우님부터 각자 소개 및 또 한국을 방문하신 소감 부탁드리겠습니다.
My name is Timothy Chalamet. I play Paul Atreides in Dune Part 2. As was just said, this is my second time in Korea, and I am truly enormously grateful to be here. And I feel that my films, whether it's The King or Dune or Wonka right now, have been as warmly received in Korea as they have been anywhere in the world. So an enormous thank you to everyone here, everyone that took the time to be here today, and hopefully continued artistic success here.
Absolutely incredible. This is my first time here, so I feel incredibly lucky. I think we had such a warm welcome when we stepped literally out of the airplane. We were greeted by beautiful fans with artwork and things that they had created and brought to us. It was so beautiful and so kind and really warmed my heart. So I'm so grateful to be here and be here with all of these incredible people and to be a part of something that I think we're all very proud of. So feeling very, very lucky.
Thank you very much. Austin, how about you? What's it like being in Korea?
I could just second and third what Timothy and Zendaya just said. As soon as we arrived from the airport, the fans were so generous and kind and warm and welcoming. And I'm so excited to be here. Korean cinema is some of my favorite in the world. And I've always wanted to be here, so I'm very, very grateful.
We're grateful to have you. Next, Stellan.
I'm extremely happy to be here. It's the first time in Korea, and I love Korean food. I'm so sad that I can only stay here for 3 days, so I have to eat all the time.
Okay. Thank you. Last but not least, Denis.
It's an honor for me to be here. I came here for the first time many years ago for the Busan Film Festival. I came twice, and I always had been in awe about how the Korean people love cinema, a true land of cinephiles. And it's an honor for me to present Dune Part 2.
네, 잘 들어봤습니다. 자, 그럼 이제 기자님들 질문을 받을 차례인데요. 우리 기자님들 질문이 있으신 분은 손을 높게 들어주시면 저희가 마이크를 전달해 드리도록 하겠습니다. 반드시 질문은 한국어로 부탁드리겠고요. 질문은 매체당 한 가지만 받도록 하겠습니다.
네, SR타임즈 신무진 기자입니다. 감독님께 질문을 드릴게요. 크리스토퍼 놀란 감독님께서 듄 파트 2에 대해서 이 시대의 제국의 역습이라고 평하셨는데 저도 그렇게 생각하시고 많은 분들도 그렇게 동의하실 거예요. 제가 여쭙고 싶은 질문은 폴이 이제 프레멘의 구세주 신앙에 대한 폭주를 경계하고 이 각성을 통해서 비극을 피할 수 없는 운명인 걸 알고 이거에 대해서 평생 고뇌하는 이제 고대하고 고통받는 인물이거든요. 감독님께서는 이런 폴을 통해서 원작자 프랭크 허버트가 의도한 어떤 그런 이제 맹목적인 지지자들과 또 지도자와의 관계, 이거에 대한 경계의 메시지에 대해서 어떠한 형태로 이 영화에서 전달하려고 하셨는지 궁금하고요. 이런 메시지가 만약에 이제 파트 2가 만들어진다면은 거기서 어떤 또 메시지로 그렇게 또 이제 이어나가실지 이거에 대한 좀 질문을 드리겠습니다.
The thing is that I tried to be as faithful as possible to Frank Herbert. Initial desires that he wanted to make a book about a warning about charismatic figures, a cautionary tale about cult, the people that raise cult, you know, I tried to be as faithful as possible to this. I wanted Dune is a story of a young man that will have to find his path if he will be able to get rid of his genetic heritage and find through his education and find freedom and finally find freedom. And in the second installment, we see him struggling with those big questions. And yeah, it's all from the book.
네, 우리 감독님 말씀 잘 들어봤고요. 자, 두 번째 질문으로 이어가 보도록 하겠습니다. 아주 앞쪽에 계시네요. 네, 질문 받아볼게요.
네, 안녕하세요. 데일리안 유지은 기자입니다. 영화 정말 재밌게 잘 봤고요. 저는 오스틴 버틀러 배우분들을 비롯해서 이제는 다른 배우들한테도 다 질문 하나씩 드리고 싶은데요. 그 등장부터 비주얼을 비롯해 좀 액션 연기와 아우라 등이 좀 강렬했는데 페이드 로타 역할을 위해서 준비했던 과정과 노력 이런 답변들이 궁금하고요. 다른 분들도 이 부분에 대해서 말씀해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
So my preparation started with the conversations with Denis, and obviously reading the novel, and Denis' vision for me started with the physicality of Fade, and so very early on I started training, both in order to put on weight, so that way I was heavier, but also the fight training that we did, and so we trained a lot in Kali, and Timothy and I both individually trained for many months before arriving in Budapest, where we filmed those fight scenes that I was in. And then as soon as Timothy and I met, our first day meeting, we got immediately into working on the fight together. And it really became sort of the backbone of the character for me, was the way that he moved.
Well, I think what Austin did in this film is absolutely extraordinary. And I was just looking at the poster up there, and I think maybe I'm recognizable and Zendaya is recognizable, and the two gentlemen on the left of the stage are entirely unrecognizable. And the fight preparation, the discipline that Austin brought to the role, it was truly inspiring. And I thought what we had all done in the first film was worthy, and I was very proud of. But as soon as I saw Austin working on Zoom, on a cast table Zoom, I was extremely inspired to work that much harder to be able to match him and what everyone was bringing to the table.
Thank you. Yes, truly inspiring.
네, 그럼 다음 질문으로 넘어가 보겠습니다. 세 번째 질문 우리 기자님 받아볼게요.
예, 한겨레 신문의 김은영 기자라고 합니다. 영화 굉장히 재미있게 감동적으로 봤고요. 그 폴 아트레이더스를 연기한 티모시 샬라메 배우께 여쭤보고 싶은데 원작을 보셨는지, 그리고 원작을 보셨거나 아니면 대본을 봤을 때 폴 역의 어떤 부분이 가장 좀 개인적으로 매혹적으로 느껴졌고, 그래서 연기하실 때 어떤 부분에 좀 가장 신경을 쓰고 하셨는지 궁금합니다.
Well, I absolutely read the book in its entirety before I ever got the chance to meet Denis, who I knew was directing the project some 6 years ago now, which absolutely blows my mind how quickly time flies. And before I got the chance to meet with him. And the part of the role that excited me the most was, as Denis talked about, that Frank Herbert was perhaps dismayed that Paul was seen as a hero when people first read the book, and that he felt he was more complicated, that while at times he's a moral center of the story, certainly in comparison to Fade Rautha, who's maniacal, he nonetheless is caught between wanting to be confirmed in how he sees himself with Chani, but ultimately a bigger destiny, one that's quite dark, one that's quite violent, and involves a lot of death and destruction.
네, 답변 잘 들어봤습니다. 이제 네 번째 질문으로 가볼게요. 자, 우리 뒤쪽에 계시는데요. 우리 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 저 싱글리스트 강보라 기자라고 하고요. 이번에 젠데이아 콜먼 씨랑 오스틴 버틀러, 스텔란 스카스가드는 한국 방문이 처음인 걸로 아는데 좀 한국에 대한 인상이 어땠는지, 그리고 좀 기억에 남는 한국 팬이 있었는지 궁금하고요. 티모시 샬라메랑 그 젠데이아는 오늘 의상이 한국 디자이너 옷으로 알고 있는데 거기에 좀 어떤 의미가 있는지 말씀 부탁드립니다.
이 질문에요. 네, 답변하시면서 우리 이번 답변은 우리 스텔란 스카스가드부터 네, 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Well, I came later, so I saw no friends. It was an absolutely empty airport, but there were a couple of nice minders that brought me in. And I don't have a Korean designer on me either, but I'm happy.
Thank you. Next, Austin.
Well, yeah, Timothy and I flew together, so when we got off the plane, there was a very warm welcome. And I'm sorry that they were so empty when you everybody must have just been out eating at that point. But we had a very warm welcome. People had drawn artwork and that sort of thing, and it was very, very, very warm. So as Stellan said, I'm very happy. I feel very happy.
Yeah, just I think same. I still have to finish reading. I have some of the most beautiful letters that I received, and those kinds of things mean so much. To think that there's somebody that you've never been able to meet, but finally you have this moment and you get to connect with them, and something that you've made means something to them too. So I felt this deep connection, and I'm gonna keep reading these beautiful letters and seeing everyone's artwork and taking it home. I also got snacks. I got all kinds of wonderful things. Yeah, I got snacks. Yeah. So yeah, it like again, such a warm welcome. I've never had that kind of generous welcome anywhere really. I'm like not even my mom's house. So this is so special. Yeah, I'm like I absolutely love it here, and yeah, I wish I had more time, to be honest. I wish I could stay longer. So I'm going to try to see as much as I can and do as much as I can while we're here. But it's been absolutely beautiful so far.
The Korean fans truly love all of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
네, 자, 답변 들어봤고요. 자, 다음 질문 이어가겠습니다. 우리 기자님 마이크 네, 전달 부탁드릴게요.
네, 안녕하세요. 저 헤럴드팝 이미지 기자입니다. 영화 너무 잘 봤고 액션도 너무 좋았다고 생각합니다. 네 배우분께 질문 드리겠습니다. 한국에는 듄 팬층인 듄친자라는 게 있는데 그 존재를 아는지 너무 궁금하고요. 그리고 한국에서 듄에 열광하는 이유가 뭐라고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
듄친자. Yeah. Say it again. How do you pronounce it?
듄친자. 듄친자.
She's better. She's better. I'm nervous to try to. You guys get it? No, I think it's thanks to this man here, and what an extraordinary job he did with the films and his passion for the material, and I think that comes across when you watch the movie. And can you pronounce it one more time? I want to hear it.
The spelling would probably be CHINJA. So 듄친자.
듄친자. Something like
Perfect,
that. Okay,
perfect.
There we go.
Anyone else? Maybe Zendaya? Putting you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I think you answered it well. I think for many reasons why I didn't necessarily grow up with the books, but I feel like I've been introduced to them through Denis and had the privilege of getting to know the material through him and knowing that his love and care for the books and how that has translated into everything you've seen and are going to see is so special. And I think that now I get to be a part of this fandom, this universe, of so many people that care so deeply about it, and you feel such a responsibility and a care because of that. So I feel like I've been introduced to it in many ways in the same sense, and fallen in love with this world too.
Okay, I think our journalists would love to hear from everyone about this, since we even have that term 듄친자. So let's ask everyone. Maybe Stellan or Austin, anyone who wants to go?
둔친자.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Awesome.
That's the best.
Right.
I will not.
It would be good for your fan club. Yeah, it will.
No, but it's. I think it's global, but Korea with its love for cinema has a a very special way of being Dune Jinja.
Yeah, very well said. I'm trying to think of what I can add to this. Dune Jinja?
Very
good?
nice. Yes.
Jinja?
You sound like a native.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, really, just what you all had said. The world that Denis has created, I think it's universal, and I think, so I think it in a way it speaks to all of humanity, you know, and our love of watching cinema and being able to sit in a dark theater and be immersed in this other world and all the textures, bless you, and all the textures of that world, and also the themes of love and the themes of power and all the themes that are in this film. And like Stellan said, you know, Korean cinema is some of the greatest in the world. So the appreciation of cinema here, I think, really lends itself to the love of this film and the world that Denis has created.
So on that note, maybe Denis, any last comments about why you think this series has received so much love in Korea?
I will say this. Listen, you're looking at a director that will know soon in a couple of days how people reacted to the film critics or the public, and we did this movie with a lot of love, and love for Frank Herbert and love for cinema, and I hope that it will find its audience here. Again, here there's a lot of filmmakers I admire and that are very inspiring for me. So it's very special for us to be here. Yeah.
네, 잘 들어봤습니다. 자, 취재 열기가 여전히 뜨거운데요. 네, 다음 질문 바로 또 이어가도록 하겠습니다. 우리 기자님 마이크 전달 부탁드릴게요.
네, 시네플레이 추하영 기자입니다. 영화에서 남부 출신의 프레맨들과 그렇지 않은 프레맨들 사이에서 분열이 많이 보이는데요. 또 프레맨들은 포를 두고 이방인이라고 자주 언급합니다. 그를 믿는 사람들과 믿지 않은 사람들로 분열되어 있는데 이렇게 프레맨들의 분열을 두드러지게 보여주신 이유가 궁금합니다.
The idea is that when Frank Herbert, as Timothy mentioned earlier, when Frank Herbert wasn't happy with the way the first book was received, he found out that the readers thought that was perceived the book as a celebration of Paul Atreides, celebration of the hero, and he wanted to write a cautionary tale again, a warning against those charismatic figures that become leaders, and about the danger of blending religion and politics. And in order to correct that, to change that perception of the first book, he wrote a tiny book called Dune Messiah, that like a kind of epilogue, and that really was to emphasize and to make sure that people would understand what he wanted to do with Dune. And me knowing that, having read, of course, Dune Messiah, and knowing that the Frank Herbert initial intention, I made this adaptation, trying at my best to be faithful to Frank Herbert desires, ideas, and early dreams, and to help that, I decided that you should have like a fraction in Fremen society divisions, that Fremen will not be seen as a whole entity, homogeneous. Thank you very much, translator. Homogeneous society, but a more complex society. Try to bring nuances, and that's what I did. I mean, I'm coming from a place where religion had tremendous power over politics until the 60s, where I come from in Canada, and the youth came back and changed that. Decided that to make sure that the institution will be separated from religion. And I think it's for democracy it's very important and fundamental, and that's why I did this adaptation this way.
Okay, thank you very much. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we skipped over the question about your sporting Korean designer clothing today. So Timothy, Zendaya, any comments on that?
Yeah, we're not talking about me.
Well, I think it's a wonderful Korean designer named Junji. I think you guys pronounce it. You would pronounce it Junjae. And I think it's wonderful to support the designers here. Maybe Zendaya can speak to it more, but this was Law's beautiful idea and creation. And but thank you to Junji for this opportunity to wear these beautiful clothes.
Yeah, hope you like it. Hope we look okay. You look wonderful.
네, 우리 티모시 샬라메 배우님께 한 가지 더 여쭙고 싶은데요. 원카 흥행 이후에 또 우리 듄 파트 2 어떻게 기대하고 계시는지 한 번 더 질문 드려보고 싶습니다. 네.
Absolute confusion that this chocolate man is all of a sudden right out in space, commanding armies. But in all seriousness, it's I think Austin and Denis have spoken to it. There's such a passion for movie making here in cinema, and it's so cool to use that word. You know, as an American, to be here and see the rich cinematic history here, and I'm very grateful that movies that are absolutely different could be received positively.
Thank you very much.
네, 자 답변까지 잘 들어봤습니다. 자 이제 시간 관계상 저희 마지막 질문을 받아볼 차례인데요. 마지막 질문 우리 기자님 받아보도록 하겠습니다. 네.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 CBS 노컷뉴스 최영주라고 합니다. 저 감독님하고 배우분들 모두에게 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 그 SF 소설계에 정말 큰 획을 그은 전설적인 소설을 영화한 작품인데요. 그러니까 듄 파트 2에 이르기까지 영화하는 과정 그리고 참여한 과정에서 각자 영화 듄이 좀 어떤 의미를 가지게 됐는지 말씀 부탁드립니다.
It is of course. I'm a rather political person. To me, it is very important the essence of the story. The warning for those messiahs types, but it's also I think it's a sort of criticism of religion, which I'm also criticizing. So it's a good film to be in.
So I read the novel when I was 15, and at that time, it was just this joy to get lost in the world that Frank Herbert had written, and then rereading it when I knew that I was going to come, when I was going to meet Denis for the first time. I didn't know that I was going to be in the film, but I just knew we were meeting. I thought, I'm going to reread it, and I reread it, and it hit me totally different. And part of that was also because I'd had the privilege to see Dune Part 1, that all these people with me on stage were, created, and so it was such a joy for me to get to read it again and know the textures that Denis had brought to the screen, and all the wonderful actors in the film had brought to it. So then to know that I was going to be a part of this film that I was so excited to go to the cinema and see the first one, and I watched it multiple times, and then to know that I was going to be a part of this, I have chills right now just thinking about how privileged I am, and then to get to play a character like the one that I was able to play, who was so rich and such a wonderful challenge. It was something that I'll forever be grateful for.
I beautifully said. I would say, similar in the sense of just feeling incredibly honored to be here, to be a part of something like this. I think to kind of echo what I was saying earlier, I didn't grow up with it, but I was introduced to it in the most beautiful way, which is through this experience. And through a filmmaker who cares so deeply about the material, and when you get to unlock this whole world, then you see it everywhere. And I didn't realize my whole life I was living in Dune references. I just didn't know it. And that's been really, really special for me is seeing how impactful it's been, meeting people and talking about their connections to it or growing up with the material or it's been really, really special. And you just feel a tremendous honor, but also responsibility because you want people to feel like you're honoring something that they've held so dearly to them for so long as well. So yeah, I think the big word I would say is honor. Yeah.
Well, you definitely did it justice.
Wow, I ditto to what everyone's saying up here, and I can really relate to that feeling of being honored, not only to engage with this material, but work with someone like Denis, who's really been on an extraordinary run of movie making and films that are wildly different. And for me, I feel a certain closeness and gratitude for this role as Paul Atreides and the discipline that requires, the mental discipline, the litany of fear, all sorts of ideas and things that, unlike Austin, having not read the book, I wasn't close to and more discovered through my exploration of Paul in this world.
And me when I read the book, I think what really moved me at first is the idea of a young man falling in love with another culture, finding home in another culture. That really, at first, struck me and moved me. As a filmmaker making the movie, I will say that Dune Part 2 is a much more muscular movie, meaning about action. It's an action movie. So I will say that it was by far the most challenging thing I ever done in my life because of the amount of action sequences and the complexity of them. So it brought humility in my heart to do this movie.
네, 자 그러면 이제 시간 관계상 이제 진짜 마지막 인사를 들어봐야 될 텐데요. 우리 티모시 샬라메 배우님부터 한국 기자님들과 한국 관객 여러분들께 마지막 인사 부탁드리겠습니다.
You said
No.
Okay. I will just say this. The one of the things we've done is that to make sure that people who will not have seen Part 1 could enjoy Part 2. Make sure that there's enough of backstory at the beginning of Part 1 so people who don't know nothing about the story can see Part 2, and it's an autonomous movie. It's better to have seen Part 1, of course. It would be a better ride, but I'd made sure to make the movie standalone in some ways. Voilà.
Maybe next, Timothy.
Oh, again, thank you for the incredible warm reception at the airport, of the wonderful fans and beautiful gifts I think we've all been lucky to receive, beautiful heartfelt letters. And like I said, I hope continued success for this Dune film and enormous gratitude. I don't think any of us take it for granted how lucky we are. Maybe Stellan takes it for granted. No, I'm kidding. And but a big thank you.
Next. Zendaya, yeah?
Yeah, this is so special, and I truly think it's a dream to be here, to be with all of you, and I hope that you enjoy this just as much as I know I enjoyed being able to be a part of it. So thank you so much for your time today, and your love.
I'm so grateful right now. I feel so honored and so grateful that you all took the time to be here today. And yeah, I hope you like the film. I feel so honored to be a part of it. And yeah, I'm very excited for everyone in Korea to get to see the film. It's an amazing ride. I feel so privileged to be a part of it.
It's a lovely film, and it's a film. It's a film, so go see it in movie theater. It doesn't do well on a iPhone or something like that.
네, 마지막 답변까지 인사 마무리까지 잘 들어봤습니다. 자, 이제 그럼 프레스 컨퍼런스 마무리해야 할 것 같은데요. 출연진 모두 무대 우측으로 네, 퇴장 부탁드리겠습니다.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your insights. And once again, it was such an honor.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now exit the stage to your right side.